Καλούμε στο βήμα τον κύριο Παναγιώτη Στεφανίδη, τον πρόεδρο Ομοσπονδίας Ποντιακών Σωματείων Αυστραλίας.
How's everyone going? Having a good time? Very good. Okay. The reason why I'm saying my welcome in English is because I want to prove to all of you that language is no longer a barrier. For many of you who actually have Greek as, like myself, as your second language, you might be quite okay with that. I myself, growing up, always felt like I wasn't really much of a Greek or a very good Pontian because I didn't know how to speak Greek properly. What I've come to realize is that this is actually not true. You can still be a proud Pontian, a proud Greek, and even if you don't actually have Greek as your first language. I want you to feel comfortable in this forum. I want you to make sure that you feel like a proud Greek. Say what you want to say it in your language. Someone will help out, someone will translate for you, and know that you're all equal in the eyes of us. Have a great time, get to know each other, make some good ideas, and let's see some great results. Thank you.
Το Θεόδωρο Παπαδόπουλο, Ομοσπονδία Ποντιακών Σωματείων Αυστραλίας.
Φίλες και φίλοι, καλημέρα. Θα σας πω κάτι λίγο για τον εαυτό μου. Με λένε Θεόδωρος Παπαδόπουλος, γεννήθηκα στη Μελβούρνη, Αυστραλία και οι γονείς μου γεννήθηκαν στην Αυστραλία. Η καταγωγή μου είναι από την Πέλα και από την Κοζάνη και αν με ρωτάτε ποια ομάδα θα σας πω ΠΑΟΚ. Λοιπόν, θα σας πω την ομιλία μου στα αγγλικά. The journey of the Pontian in the 20th century can be likened to the Greek mythological bird, the phoenix. When the bird dies, it sets itself aflame. From the ashes, a new phoenix is born. It is a symbol of rebirth, resurrection, and renewal. The Pontian was forced to flee a burning homeland and was under threat of extinction. This unique branch of Greek civilization, with its own traditions, customs, and a dialect comprising mainly ancient Greek, flourished until the appearance of the Young Turks in 1908 and later Mustafa Kemal. They set in motion a deliberate plan of genocide, resulting in the death of 353,000 Pontic Greeks between the years 1914 to 1923. In spite of this, over the last century, the Pontian has been reborn from its ashes, flourishing in tight little communities around the world. As far as we have come, however, the new century now poses greater and more intangible challenges for our people. One of the greatest challenges we as a Pontian youth face in the 21st century is unity. As a culture, we have instilled and maintained traditions that include dance, music, and cuisine. This has occurred despite the worldwide dispersion of Pontian communities. For example, where I was born in Australia, we are fortunate enough to have multiple Pontian societies that promote and maintain, to the best of their ability, these traditions. However, despite our successes, our greatest difficulty is the lack of unity between these societies. We have to work at putting aside our animosity and differences and focus on our similarities as Pontic Greeks. So, this begs the question, what is it that unites us as Pontic Greeks? Is it dance? Is it cuisine? Is it our music and song, or perhaps our dialect? In fact, all of these aspects of our culture have been successfully used to promote an identity within our multicultural community. But is this enough? Is being Pontian simply someone that knows how to dance a tick or play the litter? These things can be taught and successfully learned by someone who is not of Pontian descent. So, what else is it that defines us as Pontians and in turn has the power to unite us? The answer lies in our history. The genocide of the Pontic Greeks is undoubtedly a staple of our recent history. It has single-handedly dictated the situation we are in now. Many little communities around the world trying to keep a tradition alive. Yet, as the years pass and generations grow older, the general apathy towards the subject is becoming increasingly frightening. Growing up in an Australian Pontian community, I'm seeing people my own age and younger who know very little about the facts behind the genocide. Who were the actual perpetrators? And what were their roles and purpose? What were the events leading up to, during, and after the genocide that resulted in so much bloodshed? What effect did the genocide have on survivors and future generations? The answers to questions such as these have the potential to unite us. Our duty, therefore, is to educate ourselves and the rest of the world about our common past. To this day, the perpetrator continues to deny the events that occurred 100 years ago. Through education and dialogue, will we be able to respond to this distortion of history. Otherwise, the memory of our ancestors will fade. The longer we remain silent, the louder the denial becomes. With our silence, through lack of education, we are not only playing into the hands of the perpetrator, but we are actually helping them complete the plan that they implemented over 100 years ago. Israel Shani, a well-known and respected genocide scholar, has said, "Denial and the erasure of memory is the final phase of genocide." Ultimately, our role in today's global society is to be united in all aspects of culture and to be heard throughout the world as a single voice. Educating ourselves and future generations regarding our traditions and history will ensure the survival of the Pontic Greek spirit and the memory of our ancestors. I would like to leave you with a quote from a movie called The Monuments Men, in which one of the main characters attempts to encourage his fellow soldiers with the following words: "You can wipe out a generation of people. You can burn their homes to the ground. But somehow they will still come back. But if you destroy their achievements, their history, then it is like they never existed, just ash floating." Σας ευχαριστώ πολύ.